special stage and round 3 of the Britpart All-Wheel Drive Safari Championship. We're here in Minehead for this event and there are plenty of crews here capable of taking the win. Let's head out to the stages for all of the action. Round 3 of the Britpart All-Wheel Drive Championship. The Paul Vidgen Forest Machines and Dunster Biomass Heating sponsored event heads to Minehead, and the weather this weekend was certainly mixed. On to the first of the day's runs then, and it would be an early lead for Adrian Marfell. 23 seconds of an advantage after run 3, settling in well to the conditions now. How's it been going for you this morning?
OK, we've just done a better lap there. We were just a bit steady this morning, but we've just done a fairly quick one, I think. 6:38 or something, so yeah, pleased with that. It's really rutted, and you've got to be really careful where you drive, because if you're offline a little bit, there's stumps in the ground that just pull the wheel out your hand. It's quick across here. Sandy Pit Lane's really quick, so yeah.
You took a bit of quite a big jump and landed quite heavily on the front wheels.
Yeah,
the second.
I overestimated our ground clearance there, I think. Yeah. We survived that one, luckily. That was a bit close, that for a minute. So.
Sadly for Justin Brooks, things had started well with second place after the first run, but that would soon be lost when he retires soon afterwards. So that left Greg Clement in that second place now. Things were going well, getting quicker as the runs went on, but he would be struggling a little with the tighter sections in the woods and looking to make up his time on the faster parts of the course.
Not too bad. It's a bit quicker on that run. It's hard work up in the woods, so it's so narrow and close. It's just lock to lock to lock to lock. But I'm hoping this bit here is going to dry out, because I think there's a lot of time to be made up there and up Sandy Pit Lane. So with a bit of luck, if we don't get any rain now, I think the times will start to drop.
It would be much the same story for Mark Holmes. The tighter sections in the trees were needing some careful driving, but the faster sections were allowing a good push. Third place for now and second in the 7i class. How have you found it this morning?
Wonderful, yeah, thoroughly enjoying it, yeah. In the woods, obviously very twisty. It gets very hot as well. I could do with some air conditioning. Thank you.
Rob Bull was getting used to the new car. The times getting better as the morning went on. He ends run 3 in 4th place and second in the class, just 7 seconds behind Holmes at this stage. How's it gone this morning? You look quite happy, you're smiling a lot.
Yeah, I am now. That's a lot faster time that was, thanks, but it's dried out a little bit. The top skiddy bit's gone off the grass, so you can get some traction now. So it's a little bit quicker now.
Are you still enjoying the new car?
Oh yeah, definitely, without a doubt, yeah. Makes it smile, makes all the hassle worth it when you drive it.
Tim and Jasmine Philpott would start the morning well, keeping everything under control to set a good pace and end run 3 with 5th place. They also like 3rd in the 7i class for now. How's it been going for you this morning?
Oh, that's very good. We're keeping it under control, keeping it nice and neat and tidy. It's very slippery, but we're really enjoying it. It's really good.
Are you finding it's drying out a little bit more now?
Only a little. I think we just keep having an odd bit of drizzle, and because of the trees, it doesn't get the wind and the sun to dry anything out. But it's really good. We're really enjoying it.
Bruce Tigwell was playing it steady here at round 3, settling into a pace he was comfy with and making sure to get the car round in one piece. This venue has a reputation for damage in the tight wooded sections, so caution was needed. 6th place for now. How's it gone for you so far this morning?
All right, yeah, steady as it goes, but yeah, very enjoyable.
Do you think you'll be able to get on the pace a little bit more as it dries up?
Hopefully, but you know, steadiness is the aim of the game today, but quick but steady.
Things were going well for Dave Hooper. He had been catching cars early on, but things were going okay now. A few small issues with the car would need to be looked at, but for now it was 7th place and 1st in Class 8. How have you found it this morning?
Yeah, it's going well. It's real technical. We caught up with a couple of cars on the first and second lap, but got up with the big boys now, so we don't have to catch them up. So yeah, it's good. Hopefully it's a good lap.
Are you happy with everything with the car?
Yeah, we've got an intermittent misfire that keeps happening every time we turn up on the line, but just keep going.
James and Philippa Tennant seem to have reached their optimum pace early on. Their first 2 runs identical on time, and the 3rd run 4 seconds slower. If they could keep that pace up though, it would be okay, with 8th place at this stage.
Lovely, dropping down to the left, then into 45 right, and 45 right uphill at the bottom, 45 right. Heading through, up at the top is a 90 left. Heading round and then slight right. Over towards my side slightly to avoid the washboards, then at the arrows, big drop, watch the roll now. We drop down and then into right, heading round to the right. Heading round. Then up on your side. Staying high to the top arrow if you can. Bring it back now, that's it. Hold it on line if you can. Over brow, then tight to the top arrow, land. Over towards my side slightly, then caution. Heading left across crossrut. Cross the crossruts, dropping in. Heading slightly left, then 45 right through the gateway, Heading through, then tight left, heading left, tightening. Heading left.
Hello, how's it been going for you this morning?
Well, very well. We started off with a steady first run. We then put in a brilliant second run, and it was exactly the same time. We just found a really nice smooth run, and we're 4 seconds slower. So I think there's something wrong with the space-time continuum today. So we'll just keep on doing and try and stay on the track. But yeah, good fun. Yeah.
Alex Holford wasn't having much luck on the opening run, or maybe it was good luck he was having. Getting away with a high-speed spin across the grass, a short way into the stage, and not causing any damage to the car. Only the times. He lies in 9th place for now. How's it been going for you this morning?
Well, the first lap, as I think you filmed, was slightly tricky, and having not raced for nearly 2 years, schoolboy mistakes, but it's coming back now. We're getting 10 seconds a lap faster. I think 30 seconds a lap faster on the second, 10 seconds on this one. If that continues, I'll be happy.
And rounding out the top 10 at this stage would be Toby Cox. He will be improving on each run, working out where he can make up the time and push his way up the results. How's it been going for you this morning?
Yeah, good. We've so far trouble-free. Just sort of watching the times, working out what we've got to do, working out where we need to catch up a bit, and with about 3 or 4 of us all did about 6 seconds off the last run, so pressure's on.
It looks a little bit close coming through that gate just now.
Yeah, previously I've been just dropping to second to come through the gate, and I thought I had just enough, and to slow down on the brakes, I've just understeered a fraction, so it's come off the brakes and get the front end biting. But it's good out there.
For Alex Day, things didn't get off to a great start. He makes an early mistake on the slippery grass and crashes into a fence, the tail end of which was caught by our drone camera. Thankfully, things were okay, and he was able to continue, although down the results in 26th. Sadly, it would be worse for Jason Elphick. He retires just off the start line of the very first run. Certainly not the return he wanted after time away. Back today's finishing the morning's runs, and it would be 3rd in Class 8 for Lee Newcomb, a borrowed car for this weekend, so he would be keen to keep it looking as good as when he started. been going for you this morning?
Not too bad, but it's a borrowed car, so don't want to smash it up.
You're being careful in those trees then?
So just keep it constant, innit? And go from there.
Is that the aim of the day? Steady to the end?
Yeah, hopefully. That's the motto, isn't it?
Things were going well in Class 7 for Lee Potter, leading the way there, happy with how things were going, but finding it tough in the rougher sections of the course due to the car being more suited to the faster sections. How's it been going for you today?
All right, yeah, very good. Hard. Yeah, very difficult and windy. This truck's a bit big, really, but it's good.
Do you enjoy it when it's a bit more technical?
We kind of like the fast stuff, so it suits our setup better, but yeah, it's all part of the fun, isn't it?
Tom Cantwell will be finding it hard in the tighter sections with the bigger car. For now, it would be second place in the class behind Potter, but there was only 3 seconds between them. How's it been going for you this morning?
We haven't broken. Sketchy. We're still going, so what more can you ask for?
Sketchy, is that a little bit hairy all over the place?
Just driver error. Can't turn around corners, go in straight lines.
We're a bit long as well in the woods, so we're 100-inch, so it means it's tighter corners for us.
Right.
But we're having a laugh, so what more matters?
Well, that's the most important bit, isn't it?
Definitely.
How's it been going for you so far?
It's good fun today. It's nice and tight in there, but it's good. Taking it easy-ish.
You look very happy.
Yeah, we're enjoying it. It's the main thing.
Thank you. How's it been going for you so far this morning?
Track is a bit bumpy and lots of trees as usual. I'm having trouble with the car as well. I got no clutch, so I'm just talking nice to it, hoping it'll make it round for the biggest part of the day. Like, so far, touch wood, you know, we're not too bad, but overall, good day.
Yeah, it's just got mega bumpy in there, so we're easing off a little bit, just trying to conserve it, get to the finish. We've got a slightly weeping oil cooler, so we're just be mindful of that.
Yeah.
But God, it's tiring.
bit.
Yeah, they dried out a little bit. There's definitely more pace going up the hill now, but it's still tricky in the woods. It's just so tight. You can't push. You just got to go for a finish, really. But we had the engine cut out then, so we lost about 15 seconds just dead. So we're not sure what the fault is. We're going to have a look now. But it's good out there. It's good.
Fairly quick coming down there.
I'm enjoying it. I still need some air conditioning though.
Are the conditions changing out there? Is it any more difficult?
It's got a lot rougher in the woods. Yeah, you'll find yourself being thrown out heading towards a lovely tree. Which I don't want to do. I've done it too many times here before.
Still enjoying it out there?
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, excellent track. It's getting a bit slippery, but hey, the same for everyone. We're really loving it. Really enjoying it. It's going well.
Are you just going to keep it on the track now to the end?
That's the plan.
Bruce Tigwell will be happy with things over these runs. He moves up to take second in the 8i class now, as well as 5th place overall. I've heard it's getting a lot more cut up in there. How are you finding it?
Yeah, it is a bit more bumpy, but you just got to keep it in the tracks.
Well, this car always looks like it sort of skims over the bumps anyway.
Yeah, well, that's the idea anyway. That's the principle.
Are you still happy with everything?
Yeah, just enjoying my drive.
No change for Dave Hooper in the lead of Class 8. Still going well, the course getting a little rougher in places, but it wasn't affecting the times too much. 6th place overall for now. How are those runs for you?
Rough.
Yeah.
Real rough, yeah. It's not too bad, but it's getting wet, but also rough at the same time, if you know what I mean? Yeah.
James and Philippa Tennant will be having the old reoccurring problem with the mud flap breaking off, but thankfully it wasn't slowing them down. And they end this run with 7th overall and 3rd in the 8i class. What have you done over there?
The old problem of the broken mud flap, which has seemed to persist this car. That side front, for some reason, keeps cracking the mountings. But anyway, apart from that, yeah, we're going all right. A little bit quicker than earlier, and yeah, thoroughly enjoying the day. So yeah, that's the important thing. Yeah.
No more mistakes for Alex Holford in this loop. Happy with the pace and glad to be back racing after some time out of the seat. 8th place for now. Are you still enjoying it out there?
Still loving it. It's yeah, nice to be back after a long break. So yes, I'm very happy indeed.
Are you getting quicker? That's what you said last time.
Yeah, I was getting quicker, but I've now found my rhythm, and now I'm sticking to it because there's too many trees up there. You know, you suddenly think I'm going to go faster now, and then you'll be minus a wheel. So no, I'm on an even pace now.
Toby Cox would still be having a good morning. He moves up to 9th place overall with the retirement ahead, but remains 2nd place in Class 8 at this stage. How are you finding it this afternoon?
Yeah, good. It's it's a little bit up and down. You know, we had a bit of rain. It was we had quite a long break, and it did sort of was a tiny bit slippery. It's now dried out again on the tracks, but it's good. You sort of really worked out what the ruts will do to hold you in. Yeah. Hence the reason it's all sort of got pretty quick and settled down now. But it's good.
Is the weather being so changeable making it more difficult?
No, we've been very much trying to get out early, and if the rain stops, trying to get out before it has an impact. But, you know, it's not too bad at all, to be honest. I've known it a lot worse here.
And rounding out the top 10 now would be Martin James and Charlie Potter. They were struggling a little in the trees with the wide car, but things were moving the right way, with 2 runs remaining. How have you got on for the last few stages?
Yeah, just keeping it together. It's still very tight in the trees. It's only a short course, like I said before, but it's so technical, you know. You just got to keep it together, and a lot of trees going past very quickly. So try and keep them away from the bodywork if I can.
This car is quite wide. I was looking at you when you drove off last time.
Yeah, oh yeah, you know, it's I don't know what it is, but it's, you know, it's, you've got to concentrate so hard, and it's different to anything, you know, when you race in more open stages, it's easier. but it's so full on, you know, and your arms are going flat out, you know, and Chaz is shouting as fast as you can. So fair play. So yeah, but we're still in it. That's the main thing. So thank you.
In the classes outside the top 10, it would be third in Class 8 for Daryl Hardy, lying just outside the top 10 with 11th overall. For Tom Cantwell, it would be the Class 7 lead. Things were close in the class, with the lead only a small 7 seconds, so there was no room for error.
I broke it.
Ah, what's happened?
I don't know. It's not very healthy. So.
A bit of a hammering.
Yeah.
Was it okay for the stages before this?
Yeah, it's been fine, and then it just all went a bit wrong, and it's been fun. Who cares?
His lead would be over Lee Potter. A good run for him with no complaints. Just 2 more runs to try and make up those seconds and take the class win. How have you been getting on?
Good. Excellent. Yeah, it's all good.
You really happy with how it's going then?
Yeah, sound, yeah. Yeah, we're doing really nicely. Yeah, car's going well. It's great. No complaints.
You going to keep it together for the last few stages?
Yeah, absolutely.
In the few classes with just 1 crew, it would be Ashley Bartlett who continues to hold the lead in Class 2 from 18th overall. And for Tony Rooney, it would be Class 4 with 20th overall going into the final runs of the event. And for Richard Mayer Barron, it would be Class 1. Returning after many years away, things were going well, and he was enjoying the course. How's it been going for you today?
Fantastic. Really enjoyed it. It's been good fun. Returned after 17 years of absenteeism. Having a really, really good day. Thoroughly enjoying it.
So at the end of run 5, the results at the top changed a little and now look like this. Plenty more action to come from the Britpart All-Wheel Drive Safari Championship. Join us after the break. So this is your first event here today at the All-Wheel Drive. How has it come about?
I used to do it, well, I used to do a bit of co-driving, and then, yeah, me and the ex kind of split up, and then all of a sudden I thought, no, I'm going to go and give it a go and get out there on the track and show that girls can do it too.
And you've actually done quite well today. I know you've had a few little niggles, but you've actually got round, which is quite an achievement considering the amount of cars that aren't.
Yeah, we've got round 5 times so far, and hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll get out again. So yeah, it should be really good.
And as I said, this is your first time driving. How has that experience been?
Oh, it's amazing. Really good, really excited. Couldn't wait, but yeah, just get back out there and try it, keep going.
How does it feel being the only girl?
Pretty cool. I'm bringing it back for the girls.
In the Safari Light, there would only be the 2 crews here this weekend. Unfortunately for Mike Cheriton, things wouldn't go to plan. He rolled the car onto its side midway through the day and, of course, picked up a maximum. Which meant that it would be victory this weekend for Adrian Beer by a good margin. He had been slightly ahead since the opening run, but the pressure was off after the problems for Cheriton. On to the final runs in the main event then, and it would be 20 seconds for Ashley Bartlett. A maximum after braking the car before the final run thankfully didn't change the class position. And for Richard Mayer Barron, it would be the Class 1 win, taking 21st overall on his return to competition. Unfortunately, we would lose Tony Rooney in run 6, meaning no finishers in Class 4 this weekend. Lee Potter would have a good, steady run over the final runs of the day. No advance on the class, but happy with 2nd place there and 15th overall. So that meant that Tom Cantwell takes the Class 7 win this weekend, a win of 21 seconds at the end of the event. Having briefly slipped out of the Class 8 podium, it would be 3rd in that class at the end of the event for Lee Newcomb, finishing just outside the top 10 overall in 11th. Martin James and Charlie Potter would continue the good run to the finish and take 10th place. A good end to a tough weekend in the car. No change for Toby Cox. remaining second in Class 8 to the finish and maintaining that 9th place overall too. Alex Holford has said he was happy with the pace, and indeed he stuck to that, taking 8th place at the end of the event and without any of the first run dramas repeating themselves. Unfortunately for Dave Hooper, it would be a place dropped in the final runs overall, down to 7th, but the Class 8 victory was still very much his this weekend. Hooper would be beaten to 6th place by James and Philippa Tennant, tied on the times at the end of the day, but the place taken on the run one time. And that change would be one of the last ones in the top of the results, and Bruce Tigwell completes his steady run to end the event with 5th place overall and 2nd in the 8i class. No change either for Tim and Jasmine Philpott, as they take 3rd in the 7i class and finish just outside the podium places in 4th. On to those podium places, and it would be 3rd for Mark Holmes. It hadn't been an easy day, but thankfully it had been without issue, and the car was going home in one piece. Sadly for Greg Clement, the first sections of the course didn't dry up as much as he wanted, meaning there was no more time to be gained. He ends the day with 2nd place this weekend. And that means for Adrian Marfel it would be the win. A great result, and one that was going to give the championship points total a big boost. So before we chat to the crews, here's a reminder of those times at the top of the results. Congratulations, Adrian. You've been doing pretty well in this car since you brought it out.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Yeah, this is our, I think our 3rd win. We've had 2 at Ebbw Vale and 1 here, so yeah, we are really pleased with it. Yeah, it's been great. Been a tough event today. Well, I say that every time, but it's about making sure you finish, and we've done that today. So yeah, really pleased. It's good.
I guess even though each event is tough, it's tough in a different way.
Yeah, this event is tough because there's not a different line to drive. You've got to kind of make the most of quite a narrow track. So there's a lot of attrition. There's a real potential to knock wheels off and tip upside down. So yeah, you've got to just be mindful of getting round and getting to the finish and being quick enough, but not over pushing it.
Do you enjoy the technical stuff?
To be honest, I enjoy the technical stuff probably more than the fast stuff. Yeah, yeah, I do. Yeah. Fast stuff scares me a bit still, but perhaps I'll get used to it. But no, I like the technical stuff. Yeah, I do.
Do you think this car is more suited to the technical stuff than the fast stuff, or is it pretty good at both?
This car actually is probably better on the fast stuff. Yeah. That's what it was designed for in France, but we've altered it a little bit to cope with some of the British events. So it's capable of both, to be fair. Yeah, it's been a good machine so far.
Congratulations, pretty good day.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I didn't think we were going to get 2nd, to be honest with you, but when Justin retired, that gave us an in, but we couldn't catch Adrian. He was just much too fast for us.
He reckons he's going to have some good battles with you this year.
Yeah, I think maybe certainly later on in the season, Walters or Sweet Lamb, it could be a bit closer. Yeah, I think so.
It must be nice having that competition, because you want competition, don't you? You want to win, but you want to fight for it.
Yeah, it's no fun if we can just go out there and win, and I think that's what Chris Bird used to find, which is why he's moved on probably. But yeah, it's nice to have a close fight.
Do you think if there'd been a couple more stages, you might have been able to catch him?
No. He was 10 seconds each stage quicker than us, and I just couldn't get any closer. Whatever I did, I couldn't get closer, so...
Congratulations, a good event, a good battle.
Yeah, it was good fun, thoroughly enjoyed it. Yeah, really good. Didn't have any problems, didn't hit any trees, which is most unusual for us. We normally managed to hit something, but yeah, thoroughly enjoyed it.
It must be such a satisfying feeling to finish so well and have a trouble-free day.
It's unusual for us, yeah. It's a double bonus, that is, to finish an event, yeah.
Did you enjoy the technical bits today, or are you more of a fast person?
It's a good combination. It's how it should be. There were some nice fast bits and obviously slippy bits when it rained. And then in the woods, it got really rough and bumpy. We jumped out the ruts a couple of times and I managed to, without hitting a tree, which is brilliant.
That always helps, because there's been quite a few people off today.
Yeah, I was surprised by the amount of retirements. There was a hell of a lot. There was lots of new faces here.
So the win here for Adrian Marfel secures his place at the top of the championship after round 3. Bruce Tigwell close behind in second, with Dave Hooper having a great start to the season with 3rd place in the standings. So there we have it. In quite difficult conditions, Adrian Marfel takes the win here today. But next up, it's Ilfracombe. Round 4 of the championship, the North Shore Roofing and Alley Sports sponsored event headed a little further south to Ilfracombe and would feature a similar setup of open fields and tight tree-lined tracks. On to the first few runs then, and it would be a return for Andy DiGiulio after a rebuild of the car, a brand new 7-litre Chevrolet engine and a sequential gearbox had been fitted. And this would be the first real test of the newly transformed car. Things were going well to start the day. A puncher would slow the first run a little, but he leads the way after run 3. Rob Scone makes a good start, taking 2nd place by the end of the first 3 runs. The gap to the lead would be over a minute, but the advantage in that 2nd place was a little smaller, just 18 seconds ahead in that position. For Mark Hones, it would be a start to round 4 much the same as we left round 3, rounding out the top of the podium places at this stage, with 2nd place in his sights, although he was clearly trying hard on the course, almost going over the limit on a couple of occasions. Things would be close in the battle for that final podium place, with Nick Painter keen to take that position from Hones. 20 seconds would be the difference at this stage, and with 6 more runs to go, anything was still possible. Tim and Jasmine Philpott had enjoyed a good run on the previous round, and it was all going well here today. 5th place for the pair now, and although they were a little off the pace of those ahead, they were enjoying a battle of their own in 5th. Ian Archer would be the closest to Philpott on the times, 6th place overall and 3rd in the 7i class. The second half of the top 10 would be separated by very little, Archer with just 8 seconds to Philpott ahead. David Hooper would be in on that overall battle that was developing, 7th place for now and just 3 seconds back from Archer. The times overall would of course matter, but the lead in Class 8 would be the important position for Hooper at this stage. Once again, Toby Cox would be in that Class 8 fight, 2nd place for now, 5 seconds behind Hooper. There would still be plenty more runs to try and change that around, and having already put in 1 faster time than Hooper on run 2, it was certainly possible. And for Bruce Mallet, it would be 3rd in that class. The gap a little bigger, 14 seconds of a gap to Cox, but that would also be something that could be easily made up over the rest of the day. And rounding out the top 10 would be Rick and Sandra Mann. The pair had been leading after run 1, but an electrical problem would lose them a few minutes and put them down the order, so they would have a lot of catching up to do, but if the problem was sorted, then they should be able to just work their way back up the results a little. In the classes outside the top 10, it would be the Class 7 lead for Lee Potter, sadly the only ones in the class, so he would have to concentrate on the overall battles this weekend. And the same for Richard Mayer Barron, who only has himself to fight with in Class 1, so the lead was his, but he could look to try and advance up the overall time for the rest of the day. And for Tony Rooney, it would be the same story in Class 4. The points would be his if he finished, but of course that was also true at the previous round, and he unfortunately didn't make it to the finish there. And unfortunately that would be the case for James and Philippa Tennant when they retire from the event on run 2 and unfortunately go no further. So with 3 runs complete, the results at the top look like this. On to the next couple of runs then, and there would be no change at the top, as Andy De Giulio maintains the lead, extending it to give himself a comfortable margin. All he had to do now was keep an eye on the times behind him, match them, and of course make sure the car gets to the finish. It didn't take long for Rick and Sandra Mann to get themselves back up the results. 4 minutes off the lead still at this stage, so the win wasn't looking likely, but second place was. They put in some good times and start to recover from what was a bad start to the morning.
Grip there now.
I know. Not a lot of grip in the trees.
Unfortunately, this loop of stages would see us lose Rob Scone. Mechanical problems would force him to retire after what was looking like a podium finish this weekend. So for Nick Painter, it would be third place now. Things going well and lying second in the 8i class at this stage. Just less than a minute behind Mann, with a handful of runs remaining. This of course means that Mark Hohn slips down the results slightly and out of the podium places. They reach the end of this run in fourth place and would now be 16 seconds back from the third place he held this morning. For Tim and Jasmine Philpott, things wouldn't change. They were having a consistent run once again and settling into a good pace. They end the loop with fifth place, but unfortunately drop down to third in the 7i class, with Rick Mann now commanding the lead there. David Hooper gains a place overall in these runs, moving up to take sixth place. He of course still leads the way in Class 8 and looking to have a reasonable gap either side of him on the results going into the final part of the day. This move for Hooper would unfortunately be at the expense of Ian Archer. He slips down the results into 7th, still some good times being set, and looking good for a result here this weekend. No change for Toby Cox. He continues to lie second in Class 8 for now, still inside the top 10 with 8th place overall, and the times looking good, 30 seconds behind Archer. And just behind Cox in the class would now be Daryl Hardy. Third in Class 8 was his now, as well as 9th overall. But the gap to Cox ahead in the class was almost 5 minutes, so that didn't look set to change. That change in the class would be down to problems for Bruce Mallet. He had a maximum on run 6, dropping him down to 13th overall and out of the class fight. And rounding out the top 10 now was Alex Day. Certainly a better start to the event than last time out, this time staying out of the fences and on the track. For Lee Potter, there would of course be no change. With Class 7 all to himself, he leads the way there with 14th overall. No change either for Richard Mayer Barron. His return to the sport going well, with Class 1 looking like his again, and currently lying in 16th overall. And no major problems to report for Tony Rooney. A bad time in run 5 would suggest some issue, but he was still going and making some good time on the clean runs to hopefully claim those Class 4 points. Sadly for Lee Newcomb, his good run would come to an end, retiring on run 4 after lying in 11th place overall. And we would also lose Rob Ball on run 4 after he hadn't made the best of starts to the event this weekend, meaning 2 non-finishes in a row. So with run 7 complete, the results at the top now look like this. On to the final runs then, and there would be problems in Class 7 for Lee Potter, as he gets a couple of maximums towards the end of the day, but thankfully manages to claim the class win. And for Tony Rooney, it would be the Class 4 win. Having missed out on it last time out, this would be a relief and a welcome set of points in the championship. For Richard Mayer-Barron, it would be another Class 1 win to add to the tally, and more importantly, a good result of 12th overall at the finish. Sadly for Mark Holmes, a couple of maximums at the end of the day would be the difference in fighting for the podium and fighting to stay inside the top 10. He does it just with 10th overall. Tom Rimmel has a good end to what was a tricky day. This moment in an earlier run had caused some damage to the car and indeed to the times, meaning a drop right down the order, but with some good times in the remaining runs, it would be a move back up the results, and he was able to take 9th place as well as 3rd in the 7i class. No change in Class 8 for Daryl Hardy. He takes that 3rd place he gained in the previous loop. Some good points this weekend for that class finish, and indeed for 8th overall. Unfortunately, the event would not have been kind to round 3 winner and championship leader Adrian Marfel. Early problems meant he was fighting from the back. Thankfully, he manages to claim some points from round 4 with a 7th place finish. Not what he wanted, but the best that could be expected this weekend. Toby Cox would add another good result to the scoreboard this weekend, with 6th place overall and taking 2nd in Class 8 for his troubles. A good weekend without any real issues to report. Ian Archer would end round 4 with a good result, taking the 7i class win as well as 5th place overall. The times have been good all day, getting faster as the day went on and missing out on 4th by only 5 seconds. And in that 4th place was David Hooper. He takes the win in Class 8 and of course with 3rd in the championship standings, already going into this round, these points would help secure his chances of a podium finish this season. Tim and Jasmine Philpott had a good round 3, and this weekend it would be a great round 4, taking the final step on the podium this weekend and putting in some good times all day without any issues. For Rick and Sandra Mann, there would be no taking back the lead after losing so much time with the earlier electrical problem. They would have to settle for 2nd place, a result that certainly wasn't to be sniffed at, and one that helped prove the pace was there when the car was working. But that means for Andy DeGiulio, it would be the win. Victory for the car after its major rebuild, and one that would at least reassure him that the car was capable of the results once development was finished. end of round 4, the results at the top look like this. No changes at the top of the championship standings, with Adrian Marfel clinging on to that lead by a handful of points. But he will need to get things back on track next time to edge away from those chasing him down. So that's it for this show here on Special Stage. Join us next time for round 5 and 6.